The Erastus Inscription is a marble paving stone that was discovered in 1929 and is located northeast of the theater in ancient Corinth. The inscription is written in Latin, and I put the text of it on the screen for your consideration. According to a Mr. John McRay, the text can be translated as, "Erastus, in return for his aedileship, laid the pavement at his own expense." This writing is extremely important for us because it does seem to corroborate a number of facts found in the New Testament. For example, in Romans chapter 16 and verse 23, we do see an individual known as Erastus who did have a particular title. "Gaius greets you, my host and of the whole congregation. Erastus, the steward of the city, greets you, and Quartus, the brother." In this particular verse where it says steward, that word can also be translated as treasurer. You can also turn to 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 20, where it reads, "Erastus remained in Corinth, but I left Trophimus sick in Miletus." So from these two verses and the inscription, it seems like they corroborate each other. Both verses mention Erastus, as does the inscription. And also, in the inscription, this person is said to have a particular title, have an aedileship, or be an aedile. And in Romans chapter 16, verse 23, the Erastus found there is said to be a steward, or a treasurer. And also, from 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 20, the city of Corinth is mentioned, which is where it is said that Erastus remained, and which is also where this inscription is found. But even though these things are rather impressive, we should use a degree of caution concerning this apparent corroboration. Some people have noted that the Greek word that Paul uses in Romans chapter 16 for treasurer or steward is not necessarily the equivalent of the Latin term aedile, the latter of which refers to someone who is in a somewhat higher office. Now, it is possible that Erastus may have been promoted to the office of aedile after Paul's letter was written, but there is some disagreement over whether or not someone could be promoted to that station later on. And also, the name Erastus was very common in antiquity. So even though we don't know for sure whether or not the Erastus found in the inscription in Corinth is the same person as what is found in Romans or in Acts or in 2 Timothy, we do see at least a few things that correspond to one another. The first of which is that they all share the same name of Erastus. The inscription is found in the city of Corinth. And also, according to the sources I looked at, this pavement or stone was laid in the 1st century, which was the time period that the Apostle Paul was writing to Timothy and to those Christians in Rome. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.